So, when I am talking about a circle, we don't have anything. What are you talking about? Alright. I know, that's why we were supposed to do one lesson today, but I switched the order of them so that this one is super easy and it takes like 5 minutes. So, I kept that in mind, but we don't, like in high school, we're not doing the star right now, and so we still have to go on. So I gave you all a free day yesterday, but I did choose to do the harder lesson tomorrow, or like the longer one, so this should only take like 5 minutes. Alright, so, what's so special about the radius of a circle? Like, why do I care about the radius? Right, so it pretty much makes up the whole circle. Like in your definition, remember the definition of a circle said that it's a set of points that are all the same distance from the center. So that distance is your radius. So your radius is you basically draw it, and then if you were to rotate it all around, that's what creates your circle. Alright, so that's why I care about the radius. It basically determines what size is my circle going to be. Okay? Why do we care about point P? Alright, so it's my center. So again, with my definition, it said that a circle is a set of points that are all fixed distance, which that distance is my radius, from the center. So basically it takes a center and a radius to make a circle. Those are the only two things you need, is a center and a radius, so that the radius can go around that center and create your circle. Okay. So that's how it relates to that definition of a circle. It is a fixed point from the center. Alright. So, there's my definition. A circle is a set of all points that are a set distance from the center. Alright. So, those are my two most important parts about making a circle. So, those two or three variables, radius, center, those are going to be my parts of my equation. Alright, so this is what... Alright. So, I can create a right triangle where the radius is the hypotenuse. I'll have to go over to her room later and ask her because she's not near me right now. Alright, so I can create a right triangle like how I did there. Okay? So what would be my coordinates for point A? If they told me that P was X, Y, and C was HK. What would be my coordinates for point A on that triangle? So the X value is the same as this, so X, and then the Y value is the same as this, so K. So XK. Alright, so I just discovered that these coordinates were xk. Alright, so now, how could I find the length of CA and AP? Okay, you could do Pythagorean theorem. What else? What do we use that normally uses like coordinates? Not slope formula, but something else, some other formula. Distance formula, yep. Alright. So, not only can you do Pythagorean theorem or distance formula, but remember how we found the distance on a number line? Okay, how if this were, let's say, 8 and negative 5. Remember how we did the right minus left, and we would do 8 minus negative 5, and that total distance was 13. Remember that from the first lesson last year, the first unit? All right, so you can pretty much do the same thing there, because here's your number line. Okay, so what didn't change there? Between C and A, what did not change? Well, it's not an actual number line, but it's like a number line because you can, like, we're about to use what we know about number lines. I'm about to show you. All right, so K, we just said that K doesn't change. Okay, so the Y value is not changing, but my X value is. All right, so what could I do that's like my number line is this, X minus H. Because you know that the K value is going to stay the same. So to find the distance, you're having to find that horizontal distance, which is X and H. What is the distance between those? So we use what we know about a number line, a straight line. We can use that same type of strategy to find this. Well, right now, so you're not going to have to remember this. Right now, I'm just explaining how we get the equation of a circle. Like, this is what someone did 2,000 years ago and said, this is how you get a circle every single time. All right, so then like same thing here, between P and A, what did not change? The X or the Y value? All right, so the X value stayed the same for both. This line has the same X value up and down. Okay, it's the Y value that changed. Okay, so all I'm doing now, you don't have to remember any of this, I'm just explaining to you how we get the equation of a circle. So right now we're pretty much using our previous knowledge of the Pythagorean theorem to show how I can get the equation of a circle. Okay? Alright, so if I just found that the length of CA was the X value subtracted, and the length of PA was the Y value subtracted, right? How do you normally solve for PC? If you have a right triangle, how can you solve for the length of PC? So either distance formula or the fact that it's a right triangle, I'm going to go ahead and do Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so what this is saying is that the length that I found, okay, those are basically my A, B, and C values. So do you see how those different values that we found, we plugged into the Pythagorean theorem and ended up getting that? All right, well that right there is my equation of a circle. Okay, so this is what you need to write down. Okay, so that was not anything that you're going to be tested over. This is just so that you know, where does the equation of a circle come from? Why am I able to do that? And this is why. Because H and K are just random values. Like H and K is the center of the circle. I don't know what it is yet. Yes, go ahead and write this down. So H, K, and R, H, K, and R are just going to be some type of numerical value. I don't know what it is yet, but I know that whatever my center is, that is H and K. So say your center was 2 and 5. You would plug that in to your equation. Say your radius is 13. You would plug that into your equation. So I'll take a minute to write this down. confused about what? This is the first thing. All that was just showing you how you get the equation. You don't need to know that. You just need to know this is your equation of a circle always. Whatever your center is and whatever your radius is, that is what you plug in to get your equation. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'll put it up at like the very end, but like I'm not re-going over the lesson. But like y'all are gonna need to do homework tonight too, so. That's fine, it's your notes. It's actually pretty smart to do that and then just print it, so. Are we good to move on? All right. So I'll do the first one with y'all. So remember your equation for a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay? So remember your center is HK. So in this case, what is my center? All right, so 4, 7. And then my radius is R, which in this case, that's what? Okay. So now all I'm doing is just re-plugging it in. All right, so my H, all right, so I have X minus, so my H was 4, my Y was 7, and then my radius was 5. Okay, so the only thing that you ever have to simplify, okay, this you're all going to keep the same, but then 5 squared, you are going to multiply that out to get your 25. And that is the equation of my circle. Okay? So as long as you have the center and the radius, you can always plug it in to write the equation of your circle. Yep, that's it. You just have to remember that H and K are the center, and then R is your radius. All right, so take a second and go try number 2. All right, so try number 2. Right? So what's my equation for number 2? Good. Alright, so normally you're doing x minus and y minus. So here I have minus -1, minus 11, and then 12 squared. Okay, so anytime that you are subtracting a negative, that becomes a positive. Okay, so remember that. And then 12 squared is 144. Good. Alright, so if you're ever subtracting a negative, that becomes plus. So like on this one, it had been x minus 4, y minus 7, because all they were doing was just subtracting what the x and y values were. So because those were positive, nothing changed. But if you subtract a negative, that turns into a positive. Nope. Because there's an infinite amount of points in a circle. Like x and y represent any point on your circle. We're good to move on? Alright, whenever the origin is my center, what point is that? 0, 0. So I want you to try both 3 and 4. So I'll give you like 2 minutes, and then we will go over it. Just try your best, see what you can do.